And we're live, baby. Best Ball Barbecue, day number 22, I believe. I keep saying I'm going to go back and check to see how many days we've actually consecutively streamed, and I never do. So I'm adding the number from when I didn't know. But never mind. I think it's 22. And I will check tomorrow, though. You have my word on that, because now I want to know. However many days since Best Ball Mania is open, that's how many days we've been consecutively streaming a draft. So make sure you tap the sub. 600 subs. We're doing a 24-hour live stream, which we are about, I think, 40 away from, something like that. Some 30 or 40 subs away from that. But we are joined today by both halves of the Dynasty Roundtable that you can find on Wednesday nights. I just did an episode last night. Awesome watch talking about Dynasty stashes. So if you're a Dynasty player, just a fantasy football player, make sure you check that out. We're going to be doing a Best Ball Mania draft. All three of us hopping in the same lobby. Hopefully we can figure out how to all get in at once. I'm sure we're smart. We're smart men. We'll figure it out. So we're going to do all of that. That's going to be a blast. But before we do any drafting, what do we got to do? Let's hit the intro.
Everything starts let's go. Let's go out. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. And one thing about that intro, it was very much inspired by Seth Diewold. When the first time I ever went on his channel, I think last summer, you had the sick Bears. You had a couple different, I think there's a Kenneth Walker run on there. I know it ended with a Justin Fields run that was absolutely electric. So somewhat stole that idea from you. So this is a very much inspired Seth Diewold intro. And then look who's back. Also, Matt Babich came on last week for guest week. And we just got the whole Dynasty Roundtable crew. How are we doing, guys?
Well, good. I gained an hour back in my day, I guess. Tyler hit me up at 6:05 and said, "Hey man, you coming?" And I scrolled up in the DM, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So he threw it. I'm not gonna blame you, but you threw me a curveball having me on at 7 p.m. Central on guest week.
Yeah, that's on
Eastern next week. No, it's not on you. It's not on you. But glad to be back. Always happy to draft some best ball. I need a redemption today. Hound Dog dropped. I had one of my 3 entries. Looked away for 1 second. Auto picked Kelsey in the 4th, and it just completely blew up my entire team. So I have a third of those entries wasted. Let's get it back tonight with BVM.
Oh my, dude, the pug is freaking. It's 60% filled right now, and it dropped at like what 10 a.m. this morning. Like unbelievable.
They have a stranglehold on this industry. It's nuts.
They really do. Until we know what a particular app that's going to drop soon. Anyways, Seth, how we doing, baby?
Oh man, the intro is amazing. I mean, it's Michael Penix leading. I didn't see Michael Penix anywhere in there. That's the problem. You got to edit him in. He's going to be leading the Falcons to Super Bowls here soon against many NFC Championship battles against Caleb Williams and the Bears. I mean, that's the future of the NFL right there. I mean, come on, that roster's loaded. Good offensive line. Some
have said, not me, but some have said Michael Penix is the best pure passer in this draft. But I'm not gonna touch on that. We're gonna leave that one alone. I haven't drafted any Michael Penix in since he got drafted. I might have to take a couple stabs, especially when we start maybe hitting some super flex contests, which I hope they draft eventually. I've been praying that they do, but we have not seen any of those yet. But so the plan is what each of us are gonna draft a team. Is that what we're doing? Are we doing a little PPR Tyler versus Dynasty Roundtable 1v1? Or 2v1, I guess.
I'll defer to Seth.
I think we can do our own, but I'm playing with mine right now as we speak. I might have to open up a different browser because the Underdog is doing this weird thing to me where it's not identifying my location. So hold on, let me try to fix. Somebody stall so I can maybe draft.
Let's see who. Let's do it.
Oh, I'm in. I'm good. Like I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know why it did that. So I was just. Because I got to get in this pug, I got to get in this pug tournament too,
All right, let's do this real quick then. Let's open this up. So I think let me check real quick to see how many people are in there. And if it's like 1 or 2, then I'll hop back out real quick. That's normally what I'll do if we're trying to get as many people in a draft. So let me check real quick. Don't go in yet. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not the 12th one. Allow. Okay, wait, leave. Okay, there's only 3 people left in there. See, now we let that one fill, and then we get in the next one. So I think we wait like 30 seconds. It's a very dangerous game we play. It's happened twice where like I've tried to get as many people in, and then I'll be like the 12th one in there, and I just have to open up a new draft. So I have to do a draft on my phone and then also draft the one on stream. It's very complicated. It doesn't sound hard, but like with the stream, your computer draft, your phone draft, you don't have. It's not plus EV to do it like that. So
I think an ADHD test is drafting 2 underdog teams at once, and if you can successfully do it, you have ADHD, and if you cannot successessly do it, you probably don't.
Yeah. All right, you guys good to go? I think we're good to go now.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
ready.
I'll let 10 people. We're good. Let's do it. Let's
Right.
get
I'm
in.
in. All right, I'm in.
There we see. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's the business that is Underdog streaming right here. That's a masterclass.
You have to. Yeah, it's somewhere out there on the internet, but like Player Profiler actually put this to the test. Dario Offstein in I think it was like 14 max or 12 max entry. I think it was like the Pomeranian or something. Maybe it was 20 max. I don't know, but it's out there in the world where he's literally drafting 14 teams at one time or some crazy shit like that. And literally the live stream is like, oh no, wait a second. Oh no, I autoed here. Oh no, like I autoed over. Like he's just it's amazing. Like poor Dario. Like
Oh my gosh.
He tried to do something amazing, and it was amazing. I think even the Podfather hopped in. And then of course I could be just imagining this whole thing, but I swear it's out there in the world because I watched it. I think it happened. But great television. It was fantastic. I think we should do that again. If like that would be a good stream idea for best ball. Maybe a terrible stream idea. 14 streams. You got them all up on the screen share or whatever. That's probably a horrible idea, actually. Very negative EV. Very much negative EV.
Yeah, I mean, so Best Ball Guy who is in the chat right now, his 100 subscriber goal was because the Pomeranian was supposed to drop. I think it was like May 15th. It was supposed to drop on that day, and he said he was gonna max the entire Pomeranian in one stream. It's 50 entries max, and he's gonna max the entire thing on stream. So he's gonna multi-table like 7 drafts and then do that 7 times. So that'd be around 49.
Oh my god.
But we're still waiting for the stream because the Pomeranian has not dropped, and he's actually already hit his 200 subscriber goal as well before he's even done the promise for the 100 subscriber goal. So we're still waiting on all that. We're still waiting for 8 people to get in here. A little slow filling BBM lobby. Maybe we should have just rolled with that other one.
I did a best ball draft on Player Profiler today, and I thought it would fill so quickly. So I spent the first part of the stream kind of going over some of my targets and fades. Then I hopped into a lobby and I sat on like waiting for 11 people for 10 minutes. And I was like, well, shit. So I just sat there vamping.
Yeah.
Like, man, I really wish I just would have hopped in and talked about this as we were going along.
Well, if anyone in the chat wants to hop in a Best Ball Mania lobby with us, I mean, we're waiting on 8 people. So there's ample opportunity for you to hop in this draft. Let's do a little roll call in the chat here. We got G Temp in here, Bindles, Thaddeus, Flatulent. We got Jason in here. What's going on, baby?
Oh shit!
How crazy would it be if one of us won this? Just took down this contest. I always think about that. Like we were talking about it on stream one day. Like, what are the odds of a content creator like doing like a stream draft, like and have that winning? And it was actually a lot. Like I was like, is it 5%? But then I forgot to realize like how many people were in here. Like 1% of 672,000 is around like it's only like 6,000. So it's like it's the odds that a stream draft wins it is not great, and it's never happened before, at least for Best Ball Mania. So, but it would be cool if that happened, just to look back and like what was your thought process at the current time, and just like how that influenced your entire life, pretty much. So I always think that'd be kind of cool if somebody took it down on a stream.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think it's kind of like darts. You could probably do it better drunk. I would think. As long as you have your correlations memorized and you're not too foggy. Like I think that's got to be positive EV. I think we need to test this out. Like how get the charts up. How well do we do with 2 to 3 beers in us versus 5 to 6 versus sober? Like what do our best ball teams look like? What's our advance rate? What are the results here? So. Yeah. I'm down for that experiment if you want to if you wanna go there, drunk stream. We could do a drunk stream.
I'll tell you what, when we do the 24-hour live stream, there will definitely be drinking involved for like those first, like, I don't even know when the most like opportune like time to start that would be. Like, would it be maybe like a 10 a.m. type of thing? So like you go through the night and then you're done that morning and then you can just kind of sleep. I don't know. Or do we start it at night so that when you can just sleep through the night and you sleep? I don't know. I don't know what the
so 24. You are going to be up for 24 hours straight.
Yes.
Am I understanding this correctly?
100%, yes, 100%.
All right. So it's got to be on a weekend, I would assume.
Yes.
Right.
Probably like
it's
a Friday.
Be like on a Friday. Why don't you? Man, this is a tricky question. I think you probably start in the morning.
That's what I'm thinking.
Start like 10. I think 10 a.m. might be. Chat, what do you think? When should Tyler start his 24-hour live stream? What's like the best thing to do? And how many drafts do you think you can get in 24 hours? Like,
I feel like you just start at like, you go to bed really early the next day and then start at like 7 a.m.
Yeah, that could be. I think that might be the move. It's like, but then it's like if you start in the morning, then you have to like sleep through. I don't know. Maybe I would sleep that long though, because I'm trying to think about it. Like if I start at like 7 at night, then I can just go to bed and sleep for like probably maybe 12 hours and wake up, or like 13, 15. I don't know how long you sleep. If I didn't sleep the entire night before, then I wake up the next morning, another day to recover, and then I'm probably back to being good.
Or you could sleep really late Saturday, go live at like 5 p.m. or maybe like 3 p.m. And then when you're done on Sunday at 3 p.m., you can just go to bed afterwards.
Yeah.
And then like just go right into your next week.
Yeah. That might be the move. It's
got to be somewhere where you don't have to completely flip around your sleep schedule.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. I'm at 5. You guys are at, we got
I'm at 12.
Yeah, Babich at 12, Seth at 10. So you guys are right next to each other. That should be a fun dynamic. I'm excited for that because I'm sure. I mean, you guys do a podcast every single week together, so I'm sure you guys know who each other likes.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea. I have the Christian Watson candidate of the year. If we want to talk about him, like you remember that last year, Christian Watson? You remember?
Oh, do I remember it?
It was me. It was me against everyone.
Are you in on Christian Watson this year?
Yeah, why not? I'm fine. I'm telling you this. I am very much an ADP snob. It's all about ADP for me. Like I think Christian Watson could be where is he at even at ADP this year?
Like wide receiver 45. He's going right.
Oh my
around
God.
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, that's totally. I am pro. I will lead the Christian Watson parade this year. I'm fine with that. That's cool. Like 3rd round was crazy. That's all I was trying to say. And everybody was like, "Oh, there's crazy Seth over there. Like, let him have his fun. Let's not bother him in his little corner, his little Christian Watson hate corner." But everybody loved Christian Watson last year. And if you would have, I'm just saying. Now I don't want to toot my own horn here, but if you would have listened to me, you would have probably, saved a lot of money. I'm just, and I don't know, like, what's your opinion as the best ball, pretty much like that, like you do more of these drafts than I do, Tyler. Oh shit, I'm on the clock. AJ Brown.
There you go. All
right. We got AJ Brown. What's your opinion on Drake London? Like what?
Oh,
I know you're a Falcons fan. Are you pro like at ADP 14? Like 14, 15? Like, so we're talking early 2nd round. To me, that's crazy. That's like, I would much rather have like Devontae Adams or even Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'll draft him. I'm not going to be like the super, I had so much of him before the Kirk signing. So I was just, because you could give me like the 40s, like he was going like late 40s, mid 40s. So that was a great time to scoop up London. I was drafting the shit out of him there. So I feel good about those teams in the big board. But right now, I'll draft him. I'm not going to be overweight on him. I'll probably be about the field because anything like the one thing in the 1st or 2nd round is like most of these guys can beat you. Like you can be that's why I kind of draft them all. I'll be lower on like Puka's going to be a guy that I'm going to be lower on, but I can't just put out like a zero. I'm gonna have 0% Puka. Like that's just not something you can do because Puka can beat you. Drake London can beat you. So I think you have to take shots at them. I'll probably be about the field, maybe 8%, maybe a little higher because I'm a Falcons fan. But I'm not saying he's the best valued ADP. I don't think it's very much like if he does hit what people are expecting him to do, this is about where his ADP should be. But I mean, that's a big if considering we haven't seen it from him yet. So I'm with you there where it's like he's being drafted pretty close to his ceiling, which never feels good. But I mean, what if he does hit that ceiling? Then it's a good price. So it's completely dependent on whether or not he actually performs like we think he's going to this year.
I don't really. Who gives a shit how he performs? He's going to get 140 targets.
Exactly.
And what does it matter? He's going to get 140 targets with Kirk Cousins in a good offense.
Well, I know there's one player that he's going to be playing against that's actually gotten 140 targets in his career, and it's not Drake London.
Darnell Mooney.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Well, how many
Drake London would have gotten 340 targets if he was the Bears wide receiver one that season instead of Darnell Mooney.
Ooh, who are we going here?
Wow, so much disrespect for the Darnell Mooney.
I love Darnell Mooney.
I swear to God.
I love some of the Darnell Mooney songs, but what the fuck does he know about being an alpha receiver?
He was one at one. He was one that Drake London's never been one before. So maybe Drake London can ask Darnell Mooney what it's like to be an alpha receiver in the NFL. I'm just saying, I think that's the biggest landmine. I do. I think Drake London, like that's the guy who has me worried the most. I don't know if I'll say he's like the Christian Watson, like on that level of last year, because obviously, like I think there's a world where he can beat me, but I think what's like, how come his ADP went up? But where's Kyle Pitts? Like Kyle Pitts is still around pick 60, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like
what the fuck?
Late fifth round.
A man can have a little bit of both, can he not?
I guess so, but like I think this Kyle Pitts ADP, how like Drake London has like hurt you too. Drake London's broke your heart. Just like Kyle Pitts. I know Kyle Pitts is a lot sexier than Drake London. Drake London on a hot scale is like an 8, and Kyle Pitts is like, oh my God, like 10 plus. Like it's crazy. Like Kyle Pitts is amazing, and he should have been he had 1,000 yards his rookie season. I think he broke Mike Ditka's record. Is that right?
Yeah, he broke Mike Ditka. No, I think he's the only rookie tight end since Mike Ditka to get 1,000 yards in his rookie year as a tight end.
That's shameful. I should know that as a Bears fan. That's
I only know it because I'm a Falcons fan.
Shame on me. Shame on me. But how is to me, Kyle Pitts is the right answer. Like you if you want to get both of them, cool in best ball. Like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Like get him, get Drake London, get Kyle Pitts, get Kirk Cousins. Maybe that's probably what I should have done. I actually kind of like that idea now. I think I'm talking myself into that.
That's why I like it, is because I feel like the ADP this year, Tyler, feel free to correct me, because I mean, I don't have nearly as much draft time as you do, but it feels like there aren't as many team stacks that are as easily stackable as the Falcons in the back of this round. There's a lot like Houston's very tough to stack. Baltimore's tough to stack. Cincinnati can be tough to stack. Kansas City, like there are a lot of teams that are really tough to stack, especially with these people going after the week 16 and 17 matchups with some high profile teams. So it's kind of why I like drafting Atlanta, is because if they are who we think they can be, I mean, you're going to want to at least have base level exposure on them.
100%. Atlanta is one of the easier stacks to get, especially if you go London in the second. You can usually almost always get Pitts in the kind of with that same team, so that's not a hard stack to get whatsoever. KC is one where you mentioned where like it's really hard to. It's not really hard, but it's. I think I have only one team where I have like Kelsey, Worthy, and Marquise Brown and Mahomes. Like I only have one of those teams. It's a little bit harder of a stack to get. It's very dependent on where you are in the lobby, because you can draft Mahomes like right here at like the 1, 2, 3 draft position, but like you're never going to get any of those Chiefs falling back unless it's like Rashee Rice, or maybe like you have to get very lucky to get a falling like Marquise Brown or Xavier Worthy. So you guys, speaking of week 17, do you guys have the week 17 matchups memorized yet?
Somewhat, not completely.
I have them pulled up right now because I don't have them memorized. I know the Eagles play the Cowboys, so I'll be looking for some Cowboys later on.
Yep.
That's actually nice. Like I know they're at Philly, which is not great weather-wise, but that might be a nice little shootout in week 17. But it's always going to be the one you're going to want exposure. Like if you're like a mass drafter like Tyler, you're going to want exposure to all of them. And I'm sure because what was the one last year that it wasn't like Kansas City Bengals like everybody thought it was going to be. It was like
Lions Cowboys was huge last year.
I guess that was one that people had. But I want to say well, maybe I'm tripping here, but like it wasn't like you're just going to want exposure to a lot of these different games that we think could be really, really good. I think.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the clock here. Let's see what I want to do.
How we starting? Let me always like to kind of get a breakdown. So we got Matt starting Saquon, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens. And then we got Seth going AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Jalen Hurts, and Travis Kelce. So there we go.
Yeah.
Passing up. Devontae was gone. Never mind. I was going to say.
Yeah, I've tried to get that super stack twice now, and it's both times I've failed because Devonta Smith has been gone. Like you almost have to be at like 108 or 109 to have a shot. But then it's like, is Hurts going to come back around? You know, who knows? Like maybe the ADPs will change and it'll be easier. But yeah, I have like a pretty boomer draft going on right now. AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Kelce, Jalen Hurts, like. Yeah.
Oh, damn
old man Seth over here.
I was really hoping I get Josh Allen with 11 picks past ADP in Best Ball Mania. That was unfortunate, but what can you do? Okay. Oh, my dear darling Travis Etienne is still there. You like T. Higgins here too. I love Etienne. How do you guys feel about Etienne? He's like the dude I just won't stop drafting. I especially with the. I mean, is it because we got the report today? Travis Etienne's workload is gonna go down. Shiver me fucking timbers. Like I don't give a fuck.
If I hear one more fucking report about Tank Bigsby, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Exactly. There we go.
Stinks. How many times does Doug Peterson have to lie to all of us before we just start realizing, like, yeah, he probably doesn't mean that?
Yeah. Also, am I crazy or did we not get reports like this in May last year? We're getting like rookie mini camp or whatever what the hell they're doing now, like OTAs, I guess. Like OTAs is what's going on right now. Like, and we're getting like I saw it this year. Old Dan Campbell. Like, here's advice to anybody listening on the stream: anything anyone says right now is complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's going to completely change by, early September when the league kicks off. Like it doesn't, like we're so far away. Like it doesn't really matter what they look like in shorts and a t-shirt. You remember Calvin Ridley last year? Remember Calvin Ridley? He looked great in shorts and a t-shirt. He looks amazing in shorts and a t-shirt. I think if T. Higgins gets traded away, like he'll probably get boosted up into the second round because he'll probably look great or like as the wide receiver one, God knows where. I don't even know where he would end up, but you get what I'm trying to say here. It's just complete, utter bullshit. Just turn it, like, don't listen to any of it. It doesn't matter. Like, just use it like Bruce Lee or some like karate master, like use the opponent's momentum against them. Like let the ADP rise and just scoop up the value.
100%. Can we talk about the 5 spot, like 5 through 7 being the best spot to pick in underdog drafts right now? Like just being able to rattle off Chase, Evans, Waddle, ETN, Lamar Jackson is like, the fuck? Who cares if you even get a single game stack? Like if that's
So one of the things nice about the middle is that you can always, it's a lot easier place to get falling value, like 10 picks past 80. You're like, if you're on the turn, like you like, it's kind of a boomer bust thing where like, you're either getting like the craziest value ever, or you're going to get like no value at all. So I kind of like being in the middle. Like we almost had Josh Allen, but then we followed up with Lamar a full round later, which is 100% fine with me. Also too, he looks skinny, man. You see those pictures? He looking freaking like he looks like a Bryce Young weight. No one wants to talk about it though. Like, is that good or bad for him? Isaac, it feels like it's good for fantasy, maybe, if he can stay healthy.
Who's this now?
Lamar Jackson. He's like down like 20 pounds.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I know he bulked up. What was it, last year, the year before?
Yeah, and now he's like skinny as hell.
Man, I guess he still has some time to add some weight, but I would say that's probably not a good thing for longevity. Like, we need him to be healthy, right?
He posted on Instagram, and I saw OBJ comment. It was the funniest comment. Yeah, So Lamar just posted in general, and OBJ's comment on it was so you get skinny when I leave. That was what he said. Or something like that. That was kind of funny. Speaking of Ravens receivers, Rashad Bateman getting some serious steam. I saw a clip earlier today that was like what did he say? It was like I think it was Munkin talking about it. Like, yeah, we're gonna get this guy the ball. Like, but like how many times have we heard this song and dance before? But it's like they did re-sign him. So yeah, that makes you feel a tad better. It's like they actually do value this guy. They didn't pick a receiver until when did Devontae get picked? 5th round, 6th round, something like that. So that makes you feel a tad better. But like, where are you guys standing out on Bateman? Are you just done? Or are you still? I mean, he's cheap right now. You can get like 15th, 16th, 17th round Bateman. It's not like you have to really fork over any ADP value like you did last year, where he was kind of the end of like him and Zay Flowers are actually going in lockstep last year, like back to back pretty much. So where are you guys out on Rashad Bateman?
Yep, great radio. I'll sometimes we don't want to talk over each other, so we just end up sitting there politely waiting for the other person to go. I'll take Rashad Bateman every single time I drop Lamar Jackson. There's really no reason not to. So in best ball, I'll probably have about equal exposure of Rashad Bateman and Lamar Jackson, just because you might as well stack. It's so cheap, and it's kind of hard you can't really come away with Lamar, Andrews, and Flowers. So you have to get 2 of those 3 most likely, and then being able to just kind of slip in Bateman at the end is really good. Redraft, probably not going to be super heavy on him, because like in here, I really want to believe that this is true hype and that he's going to deliver, but up here, I know that that's probably not the case.
Yeah, 100%. Also, too, I want to acknowledge this comment from earlier. I see Seth is multi-tabling. YouTube uploaded a short 9 minutes ago. What do you have to say for yourself?
I schedule. You can schedule things on YouTube. So that video has been created a long time ago. But yeah, I have things scheduled. You got to when you have multiple jobs in the fantasy football industry and you go on multiple podcasts. It's amazing. It's an amazing job, amazing opportunity. I wouldn't have it any other way. But I do think some people think like, and I've said this before, and I swear I won't spend too long on this tangent, but a lot of people think like we're just in the locker room, like whipping each other with towels and, just talking ball all day long. And it's like, no, this is actually pretty hard work, like we're pretty, like I'm pretty much working around the clock. But again, I'm not going to complain about basically working full time in the fantasy football industry. It's an amazing opportunity, an amazing job. And I'm a lucky dude. I'm blessed. So, and I get to be on streams like this with you. So it's awesome. And like the video, subscribe to the channel, by the way, so we can see this 24-hour live stream where Tyler's, God only knows what's going to happen. Like, you can probably, like, you're going to have to eat and, go to the bathroom and stuff, right? Like are you going to have guests to fill in so you can go do those things?
It's going to be a very scheduled thing where like we have certain guests we'll bring on. We are going to have certain like themed drafts we're going to do, maybe like a wheel. Maybe we'll do like, I don't know, maybe like a blindfolded draft. I don't even know how that would work. Probably not that. That was just the first thing that came to my head. But that's gonna be a very like a event that's gonna be hyped up for weeks and like promoted properly, because I mean it's one shot at it. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it ever again. Would I? I mean, we'll see how the first one goes. But one thing I really want to talk about, because I've talked about this on stream a couple of times, is it crazy to anybody else that Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, and Brian Thomas Jr. just went before Rome Odunze? Second round pick, late first round pick, number 9 pick, Rome Odunze. I get that he's not in the greatest situation, but at what point do we just say the talent might win out? Like, what Bears fan, resident Bears fan we have, and Seth, what do you think about Rome Odunze's maybe year 1 production? What do you think that looks like?
Well, I think the reason for this, and I think the reason why I think his ADP might fall, it fell in this draft probably a little bit too far, is that, you have Shane Waldron coming over from Seattle. And what happened last year in Seattle with a guy named Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? He didn't get on the field because Shane Waldron loves his tight ends. He loves that 12 personnel. And, they signed Gerald Everett, and they have Cole Kmet. So, and they have Keenan Allen. So it's crowded over there. And that's, they're probably looking at the target share, but like we need to think about it this way. Keenan Allen's a 30-plus-year-old player. He's newsflash. He's not going to be healthy for 17 games. If we get 13 games out of Keenan Allen as a Bears fan, I will be happy. We'll probably get less than that, and we'll have him healthy for the playoffs and the Super Bowl run. Super Bowl Shuffle 2024 incoming. But here's the thing: is like it might not matter. Rome Odunze is a better player than Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm just here to, and has nothing to do with navy colored goggles that I have on. It's everything to do with draft capital and talent. And it's no disrespect to JSN, but like Rome Odunze is gonna find his way onto the field. And I think 7th round where you got him, it's criminal. Like like he probably should be a 5th or 6th round pick in best ball. So getting him in the 7th round, like, because at the end of the day, you got to like talent. Like he's so good. Like Rome Odunze is so good.
He probably would have gone in the first. He would have been the first wide receiver drafted in last year's draft. I don't even think that's really up for debate. Some teams had him as their number 1 wide receiver on the board. But Matt, I want to talk about, you just got a great value in Evan Ingram. Just unbelievable. Just Evan Ingram's like I have that Underdog article coming out hopefully soon. I just finished it. So Evan Ingram was one of the players on there where I'm like, yeah, go draft Evan Ingram because he's a freaking steal right now as tight end 8.
Evan Ingram,
7th round.
Yeah, Evan Ingram is in all formats one of the biggest values in fantasy football right now. Dynasty, seasonal, best ball, no matter how you shake it. We're just kind of assuming that he's going to have the same role, which was good enough to be, I believe, tight end 4 in fantasy points per game last year. We're just assuming that he's going to have the same role and not be a benefactor of Calvin Ridley leaving and an unproven talent in Brian Thomas Jr. replacing him and a go route merchant in Gabe Davis coming in to play some role within this offense. Evan Ingram might get more targets. So his situation can only get better, and he's drafted as like the tight end 9 when he finishes the tight end 4 last year. I love Evan Ingram. What I wasn't sure on is what my next pick was going to be, because I took Rashee Rice, but I'm clearly kind of planning something out here with having Pickens. And so I thought about taking one of the Steelers running backs, but interested to know your guys' thoughts in that situation, because Russell Wilson comes in and we haven't really ever seen a Russell Wilson offense that had more than one relevant running back, not a guy that generally throws to his running back. So where are you guys at on Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris? Are they both going to be relevant like they were last year, one or the other? Are they both going to dud? What do you guys think?
Well, I want to believe in Jaylen Warren. I want to, because I think he's the better player. Like if you look at all the metrics on playerprofiler.com, Jaylen Warren wins in all the ones that are important, at least to me. And I honestly think they're probably going to like eat into each other's opportunities. But we have to also remember that Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator. Mike Tomlin is the head coach. They drafted him in the 1st round. These kinds of things matter. And I really think that if you gave them truth serum, I think that they would tell you that they want to use Najee Harris. And, they drafted, look at how they spent their first 2-round picks. Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier. I mean, this is an overhaul on the offense. Like quarterback upgrade, great. Offensive line upgrade. It's all good for Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. I think, the bad news is, like I said, I think they're going to eat into each other's opportunities. If you made me pick one, I'd reluctantly pick Najee Harris. I think he's probably going to get most of the opportunities, but I think you're looking at like a 55-45, 50-50 type split. Like, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, that's kind of go.
Or Tyler.
No,
Sorry.
Matt, take it away, baby. Take it away.
No, I didn't really have much to add to that. Like that was kind of where I was getting with that and why I ended up going with Rashee Rice. But yeah, what do you think?
Little cut down Najee. Maybe we're getting to. He's losing some weight, which I know Matt said on Mind of Mansion. He like you want running backs to lose weight, not put on. I mean, it was Adam Crowworth on Mind of Mansion, I think, who said it. Where he's like, I want my running backs to like lose weight, to be more like elusive. I don't want them to bulk up to quote carry the load. Like I don't care about that. Like be the best athlete you can be. So I thought that was interesting too. Like they don't have any like this is the last year of Najee's contract. Like if they want to run him into the ground, they'll just run him into the ground. So I think I feel like the touchdown upside's there with him a little bit more too. I think like Arthur Smith's always kind of shown like he's going to run the bigger back on the goal line no matter what. And in a contest that heavily like skews like touchdowns, especially being half point PPR, not full point. I think the touchdowns is kind of the tiebreaker for me, where I just think Najee could fall in the end zone a lot more than Jaylen Warren can. But Jaylen Warren probably more capable of like a, maybe like just like a bigger play in like a 70-yard touchdown, or like, maybe he has 6 catches for 100 yards or something like that, which would heavily benefit anyone who drafted him in that scenario. But I think Najee Harris is probably going to have more overall touchdown, which is why I slightly lean Najee.
Fair. Like I mean, they're right back to back in ADP. So like, that's probably like, I'm going to have some Najee in these tournaments. Like there's no question about it, but it's just, I don't know. Like I wonder if the upside is there, like for either one. I mean, barring an injury, obviously. Like, I guess, yeah. Like whoever gets I guess not. You're right. Like your hypothesis is pretty good. Like Najee's probably going to get the bulk of the touchdowns, but I would come back and say like Jaylen Warren's probably going to get most of the targets, and Najee, when he was really good, like in his rookie season, like he got a shit ton of dump offs from Big Ben. So like I don't know. It's like if you're gonna, like, here's my question to you guys, because I view the Tennessee backfield as very, very similar, like with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. And I don't want to do any table talk here because one of those two players is still on the board, but like it's very similar situation to me. And the players are just cheaper. At least one of them is, like, so that's kind of how I see it. Like I'll definitely have some Steelers running backs, but I think my preference would be to wait on a certain other Tennessee running back. But anyway.
I'll just say right now, Tajay Spears is my most drafted player in Best Ball Mania at the moment.
How is he at where he is in ADP?
I don't know, man, because like I think I'm with you where I think this is a much closer backfield split than people are projecting it to be. And if anything happens to Tony Pollard, which is why I kind of took him here, because I was like, I have so much Tajay, I better maybe draft a couple of shares of Pollard or two. I should really go running back here. But I mean, looking at Shaheed, I just feels like he's not properly priced in the 10th round. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 on the Saints. New OC coming in. I think they get a little bit more modern of an offense. Look, I have some stacking options available, but in a contest that heavily favors drafting wide receivers, I'll just go Shaheed. Also, huge week 17, I believe, whatever the Rams Saints game was, he showed out in that game. So just a walking spike week as well, which I mean is always nice to get in the 10th round. So, and he could just be a good receiver this year too, and get a decent amount of volume with Michael Thomas gone. Not that Michael Thomas is really changing the game that much, but
yeah, no, I think that Saints offense, it's like, I don't know, man. Derek Carr, I've had basically a hate relationship with Derek Carr in fantasy football for a long time, but there's no doubt Rashid Shaheed's going to have the spike weeks that he's as your wide receiver 5 or 6. Like it's totally fine. Like he's going to have a couple weeks where he, grabs a touchdown and goes for 100 yards, within that offense. So I endorse that pick. I think it's just fine.
All right, here we go. Back on the clock. Man, you see that Corum? I feel like his ADP could rise this summer, which is something you want to kind of be conscious about in these contests, because it's really hard to draft Corum, maybe in August when his ADP's gone up 3 rounds. And like, that's just something that we could 100% see happen. So I think this is kind of where he opened the contest at. He hasn't really came up anymore. So I think I just go with Corum here. With the what was the piece today? They wanted to add a 3-down skill set to his game.
Yeah, doesn't every coach want every single running back to add a 3-down skill set to their game? Like, oh, we can only use you on first and second downs. Oh, darn. Like, you don't have to work on anything. You're really good at that. We won't push you to be uncomfortable. Like,
the way
come
it
on,
is, you
guys.
can't
Come
be a
on.
third down guy. It's never going to work out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, one
So
thing,
dumb.
since you two are the Dynasty Roundtable, that is your brand.
Mhm.
We have a Dynasty question in here from The Roll, who's a constant chatter in the chat. I don't know why I said it like that, but I traded A-Rich and the 108 for the 101 that I used on Caleb. Thoughts? I know it's an overpay, but A-Rich scares me, and I have DJ Moore stack and then drafted a Dunze. What do you guys feel about that?
Wow. So you traded the A-Rich and the 108 for the 101?
Yes.
Wow. I like it. I like Anthony Richardson, so I think I like that side of the trade. I think Anthony Richardson is built like a brick shit house, so I think he'll be just fine. I think year one was kind of a fluke as far as injuries go, because he got tackled. Like, he had like that whiplash tackle in the end zone, which I like. That was the concussion, and you don't get tackled like that really hardly at all in the NFL, at least not that I've seen. So I think he's going to be just fine. I do, however, and that people are going to accuse me of being a homer. I don't care. I think Caleb Williams has a legitimate shot at some point in his career, like in the next 2 to 3 years, of being the quarterback one in all of Dynasty. So if he turns into that, you've won the trade. But I guess Anthony Richardson also has that upside too. So that's, I think, why, like, if you're giving me the 108 on top of Anthony Richardson, I think I'm taking that. But I really can't hate either side of the trade because I feel Caleb has that kind of upside as well. So I don't know. I don't hate it, but I would prefer the Richardson side.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you have to get get Caleb. It's just kind of it's kind of the market where he has that potential, and whether or not you agree, I agree with what you said, Seth, on Anthony Richardson's upside, but the market doesn't necessarily seem to agree that Anthony Richardson has that in him. So I kind of agree with what you said, where, I'm taking A-Rich in the 108 on that side of the deal, no matter how you shake it. But at the end of the day, if you're saying like this is what it took to get Caleb, and I didn't really believe in Anthony Richardson, then more power to you. I can't really shake my head at it.
There's a deal. There's a deal, and was it the Dynasty Roundtable League? I think it was, where I gave up Drake London and the 105 basically to go up and get Caleb. So there's a deal for you right there, like that I was willing to do, and I was really deep at receiver, and I needed a quarterback. I'm not super sold. I know I could have gotten probably JJ McCarthy or Jaden Daniels if he would have fallen. Probably not Jaden Daniels, but maybe Drake May. Like those other options scared me too much. So I was willing to pay the piper to go up and get what I consider, like I said, legitimate upside to be the quarterback one in all of Dynasty. Just look at the weapons, even in year one. Like I don't know if a team has set up a number one overall pick like the Bears have set up Caleb Williams with. And just go back to last year too. They drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. He does solid right tackle. They signed a few offensive linemen this year. That it's improving. The offensive line's improving, and now you have all those weapons with Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze coming over. It's phenomenal. Like, as a Bears fan, I've never been more excited for a Bears season in my life, because now I feel like we have a legitimate weapons on the offensive side of the ball with the dude at quarterback, and I really believe he's the guy.
I think I just take Zeke here. Yeah, I mean, he's fallen 20 picks past ADP. I think I just have. I'm not a big Zeke guy, but I'll draft him 20 picks past ADP. I mean, pull my leg, man. Oh my goodness.
It's such a like a pukey pick, but don't you think it's so Dallas Cowboys to just give Zeke like so many red zone carries? Like, just can't you just see it on the red zone? Like, you have CeeDee Lamb, they're inside the 10, and you're like, all right, CeeDee's gonna get open, hand off to Zeke. All right, my next play, hand off to Zeke. All right, maybe we'll get the ball to CeeDee. All right, Zeke falls in for a touchdown, and like we look up in week 13, and he has like 13 touchdowns on the season. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's crazy. Like, it's to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay, I want to break down your guys' teams. We're through 12 rounds, going to round 13. Matt's got a pick coming up, so let's go with Seth's team first. Starting AJ, Devontae, Hurts, Kelsey, and Pitts. A little double E tight end that I didn't even realize that you did there. Ridley Hopkins for Tennessee. Then we got Swift, Singletary, Lockett, Cooks, Gabe Davis, Jalen Wright. So you got I always like doing this better. 1-3-7-2. So you're heavy on the receivers so far. Obviously done at tight end, trying to catch back up at running back. You have the lead quarterback, but yeah, looking good there. And then we got Matt, and he's going to make his 2 picks right here as well. Going Stafford, Rodgers, Saquon, Mixon, B-Rob, and then we got Garrett Wilson, Cup, who I absolutely love right now. I think he's a steal. And Pickens, Godwin, Rice, Mike Williams. A lot of good receivers there. Great tight end in Evan Ingram, in my opinion. And then, yeah, two kind of like anchor running backs scenario too. Obviously, Mixon's not that cheap anymore as well. I love Brian Robinson. I think I'd much rather have Brian Robinson than Eckler, and they pretty much go back to back in these ADPs right now. But yeah, and then you got stacked up with Kupp and Garrett, so that's how you do it. I mean, that's a classic, classic draft right there. You don't have the badge, but we might just honorarily give you one. So
I think I love Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my friends asked, like a casual friend, he's like, why do you have so much Antonio Gibson? Because I showed him my exposures. And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like his price is really cheap and he's probably going to catch a lot of balls. And he has the kind of the profile to just be like a guy who can, bust off a 70-yard touchdown run or something. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, I think Gibson's a great pick. Plus Jacoby Brissett, dump off Merchant. So,
yeah, I mean, Gibson, man. Gibson, it could be finally be the year for Antonio Gibson. That's like we just wanted him to wind up with the Chiefs. Like that's all I wanted in my life is just for the Bears to get a good quarterback and for Antonio Gibson to wind up with the Chiefs, but it didn't happen. Instead, he winds up with the Patriots. I actually don't think it's a terrible situation for him because Ramondre Stevenson is in front of him, and the Patriots are going to be bad. And they're going to have to throw the ball a lot, which means he's probably going to be on the field a lot in pass catching situations. I like it. I like it, especially in PPR leagues as like an RB2, like if you want to go hero RB, say you want Bijan or Breece Hall, you're good with your RB1. Hell, you could wait all the way till Gibson for RB2. I'd be just fine with that and just load up on wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends. That sounds like my dream of a team right there. I'm gonna have to do that strategy. That sounds like a pretty damn good strategy.
So
holy hell!
Sometimes you got to talk it out to realize something's a good strategy. Something I wanted to talk about earlier in the show, we already mentioned a little bit. The shorts, helmets, clips that it's always been bad. And last year was kind of like the beginning of like, okay, we're getting like all these like clips or whatever. I don't think it's ever been worse than it is right now. I saw fucking Hollywood Brown catch a touchdown pass against no defense. And everyone's like, Hollywood to the moon. Like, Hollywood's going to go off this season. We had the Calvin Ridley one I tagged you and Matt. There's the Adonai Mitchell one. There's like, it's fucking insane to me.
They need the clicks.
They need the clicks, man.
They need the clicks. We're click farming here in May.
Well, I remember what was the one that we were laughing about last year? Elijah Moore, like we were like he was in shorts and a t-shirt, and we were like, yeah, he would have got tackled there. Yeah, he would have got tackled there. Like he probably would have got blown up there. But he's like juking around, like made like 5 jukes and a cut, and the Browns were like, oh. Like, Elijah Moore. Like we were just shaking our heads.
I think I might start doing a bit where I just find like the worst player, but like a clip from a clip the team posted, and be like, oh, yeah, geez. Like today, like I saw a Rodgers one, but it's like you see Xavier Gibson on that deep in round, like oh my goodness. So maybe he's the best 18th round pick in Best Ball Mania right now. I'm gonna start doing that 100%.
Yeah,
you'd be like when Xavier Gibson outscores Malachi Corley this year, don't be surprised.
You're right.
Yeah, we're hearing from sources that Xavier Gibson has the inside track to be the wide receiver 2 in New York. Just schedule.
Whoever Jabroni took Tyler Conklin, I just want you to know I'm not a fan of yours.
Yeah, but didn't we do something like that? I forget. I think it was with both of you where we were joking around where it's like the NFL Rookie Watch page would just post like I made the fake what was it, Tyquan Thornton Where it's like Tyquan Thorne reportedly going to get Jamar Chase usage or something like that.
Yeah. Did that tweet do very well at all?
I don't think so.
Do you remember?
Like 4 interactions. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was, it was a noble effort. I thought, like those are like obviously sarcastic.
Oh my God.
Oh,
this guy has one quarterback in the 15th round, 2 tight ends, one of them being Trey McBride. And he says, you know what I need? I need Hunter Henry.
Oh, but you the best tight end's on the board though, Matt. You're good. The best tight end in fantasy is still there.
I know we're both talking about Noah Fant.
Yeah, we're talking about Noah Fant. You bet your ass.
We're talking about Mike Gesicki still available too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Speaking of Cincinnati, I do want to give you a platform, Seth, to real quick spew why you love Jermaine Burton so much, because I think you have a unique take on it.
Man, Jermaine Burton. Well, I'll say this. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the Cincinnati landing spot. I'm on the clock here. Do you think, man? I should just take my boys. Well, no, I can't do that because I have Swift. I'll just be boring and go Chuba. Jermaine Burton, though, I thought I was gonna get him everywhere. I thought for sure he was gonna fall to day 3 and he would be like this hidden gem that nobody would draft. But no, the Bengals took him, and at the time I went, okay, but he's gonna be a 3rd round rookie pick, right? Wrong. Like he's like a late second, like sometimes mid-second rookie pick in a dynasty rookie draft, even super flex, like in a super flex draft. And that to me, like is crazy, like taking him over Roman Wilson and Malachi Corley in their situations that I think are really good too. Like, so I like Jermaine Burton. I think the prospect has a ton of upside. But him and Jalen Wright were 2 guys that just got steamed up. And I'm going, man, in Dynasty, I guess I'm going to have to take some shots. So if I'm going to want some shares, I'm going to have to draft them there. And I was able to get some, but not nearly as much as I wanted because, yeah, throughout the process, Jermaine Burton was one of my favorite players. Like the only knock really against him was that he went to like 6 or 7 schools in 4 years or something like that, going back to high school. Like, just insane. Like he assaulted a fan, I think, in 2022 or something at either at Alabama or Georgia. I can't remember. So yeah, he was a knucklehead, but he lands in a situation where you would think that they can straighten him out. Like it would take a real idiot to walk into Cincinnati and go, yeah, Joe Burrow, I know you guys been to a Super Bowl, won an AFC championship game recently against, the defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, but I'm Jermaine Burton, buddy. Like, so I'm here and I'm better than Jamar Chase and T Higgins. And, I'm going to be like Rashee Rice level stupid. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be just fine from a character perspective in the NFL, but you never know. Like, you never know. But I think the talent, it was never a question about the talent. It was always a question about, like, is this guy, going to make it in the NFL? And I think he landed in about as good of a situation as you could have possibly hoped for. And other people saw it. And as a result, you're seeing where he's going in dynasty rookie drafts. And I think it's a little bit rich for me, but there were times where I took him because I knew I had to take him there.
That's another clip of Jermaine Burton. It's one thing if there's a fucking defense on the field. That's one thing. When there's no defense on the field, and like I think there was 2 of Jermaine Burton catching a deep ball, no defense on the field. It's like, oh, Jermaine Burton's catching passes from Burrow already. Like, is this guy gonna be? Is he the next T Higgins replacement? Like, unbelievable.
Anybody who would walk off the street in shorts, like, hey, run a deep post, you catch it in stride because he's Joe fucking Burrow. And it's like, oh, Tyler Knable's draft stock, this UDFA out of Minnesota. Don't sleep on him.
Man. I can't wait to post that. I have that clip from Major League where Wesley Snipes is on the bed where they're doing like the 40-yard dash, whatever, what the distance is. He's like, shit, I've been cut already. I can't wait to post that clip during training camp. After I'm going to do it when the next time somebody catches a long pass, training camp highlight or something like that against no defense. I'm just gonna say if if Yoshi Vosh does it, I'm gonna be like Jermaine Burton after Yoshi Vosh catches up, whatever. I don't know, something like that. That's like my favorite meme though. Okay. God, yeah. We're looking. I think we got some good teams, boys. Some good teams. I think Will Levis is a nice pick right now. If you can stack him up, especially if you get the Tennessee thing, like what young quarterback has like as many is like in a better situation? Like I like what the Titans did. They pretty much formed their team where it's like, all right, we're gonna invest in the O-line. We're gonna sign guys in the O-line. We're gonna sign Calvin Ridley. We're gonna like all this stuff. Like at least that way, it's kind of like what the Bears didn't do. No offense, where it's like at least you can make a good assessment of what Will Levis is going to be, right? If he doesn't do good this year, it's pretty much on him because he has two great wide receivers. He's got the O-line. He's got two good running backs. Like it's really on him if Tennessee's offense isn't what we think it be. But like if he like explodes, like he's going to crush this 15th round ADP.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like Will Levis here?
Yeah, Will Levis, yeah, too.
Okay.
And also, I mean, Matt, Noah Fant, dude, pick of the draft. He's gonna. I've never been more certain of anything than Noah Fant being good this year. Never been more certain.
Yeah, I mean, I normally don't speak with much certainty, but that I'm certain of.
Yeah. See.
All right, I think I'm good on receivers here. Honestly, at 7, I have a really strong 7. Ingram is a really good tight end, but there's a really volatile position. So I'll continue to just lump my exposure in Jonnu Smith in BBM 5 because in the last round, like if he gets you 3 spike weeks, he's probably more valuable than the average person that you draft out there. So Demarcus Robinson being my 7th on with a Ram stack, like I'm really comfortable with that. So let's close it out with some tight ends. We have some breaking news, by the way.
What's the breaking news?
On the podcast? So I'll read a little bit of the excerpt. It's a really long article, but NCAA power conferences agree to allow schools to pay players. The NCAA and its 5 power conferences agree to allow schools to directly pay players for the first time in college sports. They are planning to alert plaintiffs' attorneys Thursday and are prepared to move forward with a multi-billion-dollar agreement to settle 3 pending antitrust cases. They will pay more than $2.7 billion in damages over 10 years to past and current athletes. Wow. Any D1 athlete dating back to 2016 are eligible to receive a share as part of the settlement class.
Wow. You know what? That's actually the biggest victory lap for me. Because do you know how many papers I wrote in high school and college talking about why college athletes should be paid? So that's a big victory lap for me. Whoever gave me less than an A on any of those fucking papers, I was right.
Well, I don't think it's about the topic necessarily. It might have been the quality of your writing, and perhaps
the English teacher comes in.
If you would have used a comma every once, if you would have read a comma, now I'm still in that position. I'm still, editor in chief over here.
I will send you one of my old papers. I swear to God.
What if you didn't have the MLA format? Come on.
Oh, dude, I was a MLA demon. Actually, I kind of preferred MLA was fine, but what's the other one I'm thinking of? There was another one. APA. I loved APA more. APA was a lot better.
Chicago format. If you were really crazy.
Chicago format.
Yeah, no.
I've never heard of it, but like I always see it on like the citation websites, and so I just assume that someone out there uses it.
Let's hit one comment real quick. Best ball guys here. Do you think Adam Thielen is draftable in the 17th round? Asking for a friend.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the Carolina, which wide receivers do you trust? I mean, he led the team in targets last year. I know they bring in Deontay Johnson, but it wouldn't shock me if it's Deontay Johnson and him. And well, I guess they drafted Xavier Legette. They're just throwing as much shit at the wall to see what sticks is what they're doing. Like, and it's all good for Bryce Young. So I think he's a buy in dynasty. But anyway, that's my take on your Adam Thielen question. Buy Bryce Young in dynasty, and yes, Adam Thielen is draftable in the last round.
And speaking, I take personal offense to you calling Xavier Legette shit because we are a very, very, very pro.
I didn't just call
podcast.
I didn't just call Xavier Legette shit. I coupled him in with Jonathan Mingo and I coupled him in with Jatavian Sanders and Jonathan. I like Jonathan Brooks. I think Jonathan Brooks could be fine, even though he's coming off of an ACL.
Xavier Legette is our most drafted wide receiver in Best Ball Mania at the moment.
Yeah. So what's your exposure on Bryce Young? Are you stacking him with Bryce Young?
Yeah, he's
there you go. That's
I
think that's a good call. I think that's a good call. Like, I feel like Bryce Young was one of those quarterbacks that could take a real leap this year because they've done so much to improve his situation over last year.
All right, let's break down each other's team. I'll let you guys break down your own team, and then we'll get out of here. In 20 minutes, we're gonna be live on Super Stack Bros doing a me versus Best Ball Guy draft. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's very Super Smash Bros themed. So I am Lucas, who is my favorite character to play back in the day, and he's Samus. I think Bindles has got some wicked StreamYard edits timed up with that. So I'm really excited to see what he's got in his bag. Babich, let's start with your team. Kind of just walk us through just what you like, maybe what you don't like, but just walk us through it.
Yeah, if I would have done it over again, like maybe not Saquon Barkley there, but I think his opportunity share, like his weighted opportunities, is just going to be massive in Philadelphia. I do think this offense takes a step forward from where it was last year. And I think they got their back, that they're more comfortable playing in the role that we thought DeAndre Swift might get in Philadelphia. So I'm okay with him kind of stand alone there, maybe kind of regret that pick, but took Garrett Wilson and followed that up with Cooper Kupp. And then once that happened, the plan kind of settled in. I don't know if Pittsburgh has a matchup with either one of them. I don't know why I kind of thought they did, but just kind of took value there with Pickens, who I think could really have a breakout year, and Godwin, who I think is still massively underpriced, even though I had to take him early at the turn. Mixon is my favorite, dead zone RB candidate this year, just because of how many opportunities I think he's going to get. I feel like Brian Robinson Jr. as well, being priced, I think maybe even lower where he was last year, just because of Austin Eckler coming in, doesn't really make sense to me. Got a 20 pick discount on Zach Charbonnet and kind of slot him into the NFC South or NFC West with LA and my Rams stack. Got Demarcus Robinson later on in the draft. Got Noah Fant. So kind of sticking with the NFC West. Evan Ingram, as we said, like another one of the best values in fantasy football right now. And then since I had 7 really strong receivers, like a really strong top 5 as well, I had my stacks. I could have taken a bet on a third quarterback given Stafford and Rodgers, but if either one of them get injured or that derails my season, like a third quarterback isn't going to save me. So I decided to embrace the variance at tight end and go with Jonnu for my last pick.
There we go. Love it. Love it. All right, Seth, let's get to yours. Find it here. There we go. All right, walk us through it.
So, my first pick was A.J. Brown, and, I went wide receiver heavy to start. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, and then I stack them up with Jalen Hurts. I was trying to get the Devonta Smith. I was hoping for a miracle, get the super stack there, but it was not to be. And then, I kind of filled out wide receiver with Calvin Ridley, and DeAndre Hopkins, and I got that super stack with Tennessee. And, it's kind of a boomer draft with Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, but I needed some correlation. I needed some week 17 correlation, and Brandon Cooks is the wide receiver 2 on a team that ranked number 7 in pass attempts last year. And I think they're going to throw the ball a lot again this year. Gabe Davis is a ton of upside with Jacksonville, and he's a bring back against Tennessee in week 17 with the correlation. I feel super good, obviously, about the tight ends. Feel good about the quarterback, even, as Will Levis with the quarterback too. And then I just took some shots at running back. I think DeAndre Swift, he saw a career low in targets last year in Philadelphia. And I think that's going to change this year in Chicago. I think they're going to look to target him out of the backfield as a weapon. I think Devin Singletary, as much as I don't really like him as a player, he's the starting running back for the Giants, and I think he's going to get a ton of opportunities. Jalen Redd has a ton of upside. Kendre Miller, and then it's just handcuff city, like with Kendre Miller, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell can maybe help me out towards the back end of the season if I'm advancing deep into the playoffs. And then Dameon Pierce, whatever you feel about Dameon Pierce, is the RB2 on that team right now, backing up Joe Mixon. So again, we're hoping to cash in on one of these handcuffs, whether it be Jalen Wright through Dameon Pierce. One of them has to hit. but that's kind of what we're banking on for our RB2. And I was going to ask you, Tyler, this 2772 build feels super fragile, but it has a ton of ups. Like I was going to ask you, like, the more I think about the 2772 build, the more I like it. But what's your preferred build, or do you have one?
So I've been drafting the shit out of early quarterbacks and early tight ends. So it usually opens up the door to kind of go more receivers. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're ever in doubt of kind of where you should go, more receivers is always kind of just the safe bet. But I like what you did here. I mean, you have 2 elite tight ends, so there's no reason to draft more than 2. You have Jalen Hurts and Will Levis. I mean, you're never probably taking 3 quarterbacks on a team that you draft Hurts on. So you're kind of falling into the same situation that I do, where it's like, okay, you're pretty much locked in at 2 and 2 at quarterback and tight end. Then it just comes down to how you want to break up the running back and the receivers. So you have AJ Brown, you have Devonta Adams. Like these first 4 receivers, in my opinion, are really, really good. Then you got Lockett, Cooks, and then Gabe Davis, who is a walking spike week. At least he has been in the past. So I think it's fine going 7 with this build. And then you just got, I mean, you push running back for a little bit. So if you want to take your shots, I probably personally would have gone 6 here and then 8 on the receivers. But that's just me. I don't think there's any. I mean, with this build, I don't think 7 running backs is absolutely egregious. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, yeah, the 2.682 is good too, which is what you opted to do. So why don't you chat, let us know, like, what's your optimum build? I saw Andy chimed in there, 2.583.
Yeah.
I think the guy who took down like the regular season contest, I could be wrong. I think he had in the Best Ball Mania, I think he had 2.772. I could be wrong about that, but why don't you break down your team here for us, Tyler?
Yeah, I'll be quick. So we obviously start with, I mean, the receiver start I love is Chase, Evans, Waddle, Adunze. I love the value we got on Adunze, especially. Love the value we got on ETN, and I love the value we got on who was the last one? Our quarterback. Yeah, we got a good. No, it wasn't quarterback. Well, who was it? Zeke. Yeah, Zeke. The 20 picks on Zeke was nice too. So like the receivers, they're all stacked up. We got Lamar with you don't even need to stack Lamar, but I got him with Bateman, which is nice, especially after the puff pieces that we're hearing today. Bateman's a guy that could just rise. Half the drafting right now, you just have to be aware of who could rise. Who can you get now that you're not going to want to get later because they're going at a way different price, and it's probably not a good idea to draft somebody who's going in the 10th round in August that a lot of teams are going to have in like the 15th round in May. So I think Bateman could be one of those players. Like I said, I think Corum could be one of those players. So, I mean, if Khalil Herbert gets traded, Roschon's going to be one of those players. I love the value I got on Roschon. I was considering taking him over Bucky, and then we just get them both on the team. So I really like that. I think Darnell Mooney is the steal of the draft right now. He's at the exact same price as he was before the draft. And then I think the expectation was that Atlanta was going to draft a receiver, and they did got out of Illinois in the later rounds, but that's not going to impact Darnell Mooney. So Darnell Mooney. Casey Washington. Yep. So Darnell Mooney just feels like a really good click. He's one of my favorite clicks right now. I just will not stop drafting Darnell Mooney. He's probably like my most owned Falcon out of anybody else. So I really, really like Darnell Mooney, the wide receiver 2 in a Kirk Cousins offense. And I like Chark, man. I think Chark is a really good 18th round pick where he's the only deep threat on the team. McConkey's not really a deep threat. That's not he's fast, but I would consider him a certified deep threat. It's not Quentin Johnson. It's not Joshua Palmer. Like DJ Chark's for a guy like for Justin Herbert, not Trevor Lawrence. Justin Herbert, who wants to air the ball out, and like he has that big arm, he needs a deep threat. I think Chark could. He had 5 touchdowns on Carolina last year, so I think he's still somewhat good. And yeah, that's kind of my team. And yeah, thanks for drafting with us today.
Yeah, I love the Chark pick, and I love the Mooney pick. Like Mooney, just to give people, and Matt knows this, and it has nothing really to do with him being a Bear, although he was a Bear. Like Darnell Mooney is my favorite buy in Dynasty. I think I have him on. I put it in Dynasty Daddy again to see how many shares of Darnell Mooney I have, but I feel like I have him on every team because it was so cheap to get him. Like I was getting Darnell Mooney for like literally a 4th round rookie pick, a 3rd round rookie pick. Like it was so easy. He's a wide receiver 2 on an offense that's going to have an increased passing volume, like probably going to be at minimum top 10 in passing in the NFL, I would assume, with Kirk Cousins and all those weapons. But I love it. I love it, Tyler.
Exactly. I love it. I love it too. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with both of you. Thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate it. You guys can catch Seth and Matt on the Dynasty Roundtable every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central. I got that right?
Yep.
Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central. I'm a guest on that show. periodically as well. So I'm definitely have to hop back on if you guys will have me. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thanks for having
Pleasure,
us.
man. Appreciate
All right.
it.
And we're going to end the stream like we have done the past week or so. Just the Wolves didn't get it done last night. Luka Doncic, my least favorite player in the league at the moment. That'll probably change after the series, after the Wolves win 5. So we're going to go out with the Wolves outro. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. And remember, in 10 minutes, we're drafting on the best ball I always forget the freaking name. Super Stack Bros is when we're drafting on that. So we'll be there in 10 minutes. See you guys there in 10 minutes. You better be there. Like and subscribe.